Hi there, guys. Just some ordinary dude here, and I'm once again joined by Alana. How are you today?
I'm
I'm
doing
doing
good
good
today.
today. Yeah, and today we are going to discuss something I don't believe we've really gone that much in detail with in the past in this podcast series, and that's we're going to talk about ideas for stories and episodes that the Loud House hasn't done yet. So this could be anything. It could be a very vague general idea, or it could be a very specific detailed thing. And we're just sort of going to see what we come up with as we go along, and see what we could think of. So I guess maybe I should start. Um, and this is more of a general point. But obviously, there are certain episodes between particular sibling duos and groups that haven't really been explored yet in the show, which is weird because we're 9 seasons in. But I think Amanda actually pointed a couple of these out to me as well. For example, Luna and Luan have never had a episode together. I mean, that is
Yeah, no,
kind
they
of
haven't.
weird. And obviously, well, I've already made a story about that called The Laughing Melody, which I'm going to put a link in the description below. But that was an idea about Luan potentially joining Luna's band for a while. And I think that's something that the show could easily do. And it would certainly be interesting and a long overdue occurrence considering that these two haven't really had a focal episode together yet.
Yeah, and they're like roommates, so I
So I
feel
feel
like
like
it
it
makes
makes
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
sense
sense
for
for
them
them.
to have it together.
Yeah, like obviously Laurie and Lenny have had episodes together. Lana and Lola have many episodes together, and even Lisa and Lily have had a couple of days in the limelight together, like in Dream of Lily Dream and all that. So, I mean, Lynn and Lucy
Exactly.
less so, but then again, they did have Space Invader in season one, and there is the recent. Without going into spoilers, they do have a bit of screen time together in season nine's Crystal Ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luna and Luan, they don't really have an episode together, and I think just something with them together, any story with them, particularly, it doesn't matter that much. I think is something that the show should absolutely do because these two are
Yeah, it's like long overdue.
absolutely. Um, and I think what we'll do is if I say one idea and then you say another, Alana. So, is there anything that really sticks out in your mind?
I don't know, something I thought would be interesting, like an interesting pairing that I don't think we've ever really seen is like maybe Luann and Lana.
Actually, yeah,
Like, I
thinking
don't know.
about it, yeah. Yeah. And
That's not really, I don't think that's really been done or anything like at
yeah.
all.
And you've got any like specific story idea or just anything really?
I mean, no, but like, I don't know what they could do, but I just find that would be like kind of interesting.
Well, I suppose one thing they could. I mean, Lana is the sibling that's into sort of gross stuff, and Luan is the sibling that's into pranks. I guess you could make something out of that if you're into that sort of brand of humour. Um,
Yeah, I just feel like it'd be different. I don't know.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is I don't know. Lana has a thing for animals, and maybe I don't know. Luan's never particularly been shown for that. Although, remember the season one, the butterfly effect, where didn't she become like
Yeah.
some sort of environmental activist when she gave up comedy? And okay, that was in a dream world, but maybe that part of her character's there somewhere.
Yeah, maybe that could work. I don't know.
Like you could have Luan take up environmental activism and like safety for like animals and wildlife and all that. And of course, Lana would be the perfect person to go to for her to team up with in that episode. I don't know. You could do an episode like that maybe, although you end up risking going into Lisa Simpson territory. You know, with like
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
true.
with how much of an activist she can be and how some people might think she's a bit pushy. So that is the risk there. But if you do it well, it could make for a very fun and endearing story between, like you say, two siblings that we haven't really seen do a lot together yet.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose I'm just a little bit of a spoiler warning, guys. Most of the ideas I'm going to come up with are probably going to be based on ideas that I've already written, if you know what I mean. Um, Although actually not necessarily, because a lot of my artwork, the fan art that I commission, is based on ideas I think the show could absolutely do. Um, so, for example, you have the idea of, say, maybe minor characters having very hidden depths to them. Like, for example, remember those roller derby girl ideas I did with Cricket Van Doren a few months back?
Oh
Um,
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would necessarily make an entire episode, but like you can even just like make a short out of it, or maybe it's a longer episode where she, learns more about just your heroes aren't one note, and you don't have to be prim and proper and perfect all the time. Although to be fair, Lola kind of isn't that anyway, so it might be a redundant
Yeah,
lesson. But I'm sure you could work a way to have that plot twist for Cricket's character into an episode and have it be feasible. I mean, the whole idea of her cutting loose at the end of Fan Scam does lend credit to something like this being a possibility. So there you go.
yeah.
And and I guess another one I literally just did a bit of artwork about Maria Santiago, or then Casagrande. As a child, she might have been just like Ronnie Anne from season one of The Loud House, and you could absolutely do something with that. Um, for example, there's seeds there like that sort of imply this could have been a thing. In the Casagrandes, there are quite a few episodes that show she could be a bit of a roughhouser with her brother. Um, she has that sort of attitude in her, even as an adult. We see that she has a hidden sort of interest for rock music and rocking out, similar to Luna Loud. Um, I think there is absolutely potential for a rougher side to Maria's character to be there, and for Ronnie Anne to sort of reflect on that and think, well, is that a sort of thing that we Casagrande Santiago girls do?
Yeah, I feel like that would be interesting as well. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about you? What one of your other ideas be, Alana?
Um, I don't know. This might sound like kind of goofy, but I feel like maybe like towards the end of the show, I feel like it'd be interesting to see like all the characters like older, like
Yeah.
maybe as adults, like all the kids as
Oh,
adults.
you mean like a
Like I always
future,
thought that would be so interesting to
like
see.
a future episode, like what The Simpsons does and all that?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I think this should and almost certainly will happen, depending on how the show ends. But I've always sort of maintained that could almost like make a great perfect finale for the show, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
And that could always be like the perfect last episode where you show the Loud House, the Loud family in the future, and how their lives turned out, and what their future, family units are like themselves, and just see how the family has progressed and moved on with their lives over the years, and that would be very interesting to see.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe they should could like show their careers and all that, and like how
yeah,
everything turned out. And
I mean,
yeah,
I think the My Little Pony cartoon did the same thing. It did this a 20-year time skip in its finale. I don't think it did one before that. So maybe the Loud House would follow in those footsteps. Or it could just do what The Simpsons did and starts doing a future episode every single season, and it always looks different.
yeah,
Like The Simpsons has done
yeah,
about 20 fucking future episodes, and each one it's a completely different reality. You think, which one's real then?
yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah,
Maybe it's like one of those things where it's like they're kind of just like, oh,
yeah.
maybe they're just leaving it like up to
Yeah,
interpretation for like
or it's
everyone.
what was it? Causation, cause and effect. The slightest thing, slightest change in the present can alter the future. Which, to be fair, is something that Crystal Ballin does sort of play on the idea of. We that is the first glimpse we do see of a future Loud family. Although I don't think they put much effort into it because the designs of the future Louds look awful. I've got to be honest.
Oh yeah, I saw like a few images of that. I haven't seen the episode, but
Yeah, I
yeah, I've
mean
seen that. I
they
was like,
all look
whoa.
they kind of look all a bit, I don't know, a bit ugly without a better word to use. Um, and obviously the episode mainly focuses on Lynn Junior's visions of the future, and for some reason she looks like this short, muscular man. It's like with a ponytail. It's
Yeah,
like it's weird. It's like
I saw that.
if you want to give Lynn a strong, muscular women's body, just make her look like La Tormenta. The design already exists. Just copy and paste it.
Yeah, that was strange, but
Like, yeah, I thought, like, yeah, just give her a La Tormenta physique. There you go.
yeah, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
weird.
But, yeah, they could absolutely do an episode about the lads in the future. In fact, I'm almost certain they will. But they'll probably wait until the very end to do it at this point.
Yeah, that'd be so cool though.
Oh, absolutely. It would be very interesting to see. Hopefully, they don't just balls it up there like they did with the one of the boys concept.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. Then again, that was in the days of Chris Savino. He's not there anymore, so hopefully that wouldn't happen. But I guess we'll see. And now back to me. So I guess an idea that I would like. Well, there's a number of ideas. I've just got to pick which ones I'm going to focus on because we could be here all day. I mean, remember that Reddit post I did about a year ago, and I had about 1,000 different episode ideas in it,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and any one of them could be realistically used if you think about it. But
Yeah, true.
obviously, it's determining which ones are the best ones for the show to do, and this is again a more general idea. And to be fair, the later seasons have done a little bit more of this, but not fully. I would like an episode that sort of focuses on Lincoln and Lynn, and I'd like to maybe just the show has expanded on their relationship a bit more in little subtle ways over the years, but we've not had like a full episode that like really delves into the more intricate specifics of their dynamic, like why she's so rough on him, and what and how do they they always sort of probably bicker and fight more than most of the other siblings, and you think, well, maybe there could be an episode where they really learn to understand each other. Maybe they get into a perilous situation together, and maybe I don't know. She ends up saving him, like from I don't know what it could be bullies, it could be a wild animal, it could be anything, and I don't know, just an episode that really like shows just to all those naysayers out there just how much she really does love her brother, and aside all that other stuff that she's done to him over the years, notwithstanding, she is ultimately a good big sister. And I think you could get a very good, fun, endearing, and captivating story out of that if done right.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be like such a sweet episode actually. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
I mean, again, we've had bits of it here and there. Like, there's a little bit of it in Stealing Thunder when she saves him from falling off the house roof. Um, there is a little bit of like them bonding together in episodes like Can't Learn Them All, but we've not had like that episode which really solidifies their sibling relationship, if that makes sense. And I think that something like that would be ideal. I think it should have happened years ago, but at least better late than never. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of needed now. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
especially after all this time.
yeah. It would just finally be nice to put that. Well, I don't know if it will ever be put to rest, but at least really significantly tone it down forever. Um, and that brings us back to you, Alana. What will be another one of your ideas? Don't worry, however you think it sounds. We're just having fun here.
Well, I think another interesting thing would be like maybe like all the older siblings like when they were younger, like little kids. Like I feel like that
Absolutely.
would be like cool to like see.
Mm. Yes,
Mm.
obviously we had that "Life Is Better" Loud song at the beginning of the first movie, which it sort of like plays like a happier version of the Up intro, if that makes sense, where you see the past of these main characters and a very sort of heartwarming sequence of their lives over the years. And at one point, yes, we do see the younger versions of the older sisters and Lincoln as a little baby, and absolutely, I think that would make a really incredible episode to do. In fact, that's another one I think they should have done years ago, but never did. They were too busy doing episodes about bloody flipping scoots and all that. But there you go.
Yeah, and seeing that scene like in the movie made me want to like have an episode like that even more.
Yeah, it's like that's
I was like, dang,
absolutely.
how have they not done this yet?
I know. That's so. I mean, there's so many things that you could come up with. There's still so much that it could do, and we're 9 seasons in, which does sort of pay testament to how much of this world that it's built and how much more we want to see of it.
Right, yeah.
Um, so I suppose from my point of view, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm just going to say it out loud. I'd like my entire B canon timeline to become actual official content, um, because that's what it was designed to be. But there are plenty of ideas there that I think people would like to see. For example, I mean, you could do maybe an episode like maybe, and that's another thing, a rival. That's what I was going to think of. Why do none of the Loud siblings, except for Lincoln with Chandler, have actual rivals yet? Like, Laurie did
Oh
have
yeah.
Carol Pingree, but that didn't really go anywhere. That lasted 5 minutes. Same with Lola and Lindsay Sweetwater. That never really went anywhere. And the rest
Yeah.
of them, Lenny doesn't really have a rival. How does Luna and her band, how do the Moon Goats not have a rival band to compete with? Um, Luan could easily have a rival prankster, but that's never really happened. The closest we've had is Ronnie Anne, who's more like a student of hers than an actual rival. Um, I guess she did have that one character, Amy from Theatre Club, in terms of like a drama rival, but that only lasted one episode. Um, Lynn Jr., it's absolutely criminal. She doesn't have a rival at all. 9 seasons in, she's the ultimate competition freak. Come on. Um, Lucy doesn't have one. Lana doesn't really have one. Lola doesn't really have one anymore. And Lisa doesn't really have one. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Lily.
that's really weird.
Yeah, it's like, why? You could easily do that. I mean,
Yeah, it adds for some like interesting conflict as well.
yeah.
Like I don't know.
Like, I wish they would have built a bit more on the dynamic between Lola and Lindsay or Laurie and Carol before they just sort of wrapped those things up and moved on. Um, and Lynn Jr. especially absolutely needs a rival at this point. It's kind of weird. Like there's been many opportunities over the years to give her one, but it's never really come to fruition. First, you had Ronnie Anne, then you had Becky, which they never even met. But that's almost like something you'd think they'd set up. And I thought Caitlin and Moore did set it up, but they've not really done anything with that since, so I don't know. Um, and obviously I created Bab's bestie, who look guys, if you're show writers, you're free to use her. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, and it would make so much sense for Lynn to have a rival since she's like really competitive. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I just feels like they could do more with that. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they're going in that direction. I really do wish that the writers did more with the main sibling group, if I'm perfectly honest. But that's just how it is. Um, and what about you? Your turn, Alana.
I don't know. I always thought that like since like Luna's 16 now, like I thought it would be interesting if like she got her license or something. Like I don't
Yes.
know. And maybe they could do something with that.
Well, I guess so. I mean, the only issue there is, of course, you do risk repetition because we've already had 2 episodes about Lenny learning to drive. So
Yeah, I thought
you'd
about
you'd
that.
struggle to add something new. I suppose you could do it. You'd have to add like a certain twist or a certain extra narrative element to it to make it work. Because if it's just the exact same thing as, like, I suppose it would play out differently though because Lenny, she's not dumb, but she has like these. Uh, she's challenged in certain ways. I think is the way you could put it. Whereas Luna is a different character, so she would approach the whole thing differently. And I suppose you could make a story out of that, provided um, that you just do something
Just make it
different
like
with it.
different.
Like maybe, for example, the Moon Goats need to get to other towns and cities and states to be able to do these big music gigs, like these big concerts. And Luna says, "Oh, I'm nearly of age. I'm going to do what Laurie and Lenny did and learn to drive, so I could drive us to all these places." And because she struggles with driving at first, she thinks she's going to pass it easy, and then she doesn't, and then it causes problems for the Moon Goats with them being able to make these concerts. You could make some like comedic material out of that. And I think that is a story that could maybe work based on your idea.
Yeah, that could totally work. I
Yeah,
could see that.
that should be a right for the show.
Yeah,
uh,
that is a good idea.
yeah, and that sort of there was something else I was going to say. And since we've now talked about Luna again, obvious one. Why does Luna still have no interest outside of music? 9 seasons in, give her
Oh
one.
yeah, true. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
I
again,
forgot
this
about
is
that.
another one that I've already done called Souls of Art, which you've read.
Yeah, I
and
did.
and it's like, why not do an episode like that? It's a
Yeah,
perfect
that would be
idea.
so interesting. Like if she was into art or something, like
Yeah,
just
she's into
anything
art and
different.
she teaches Lily because we've had sort of moments in the show that imply Lily is a natural artist. So that's the easy one. Give Luna an episode where she's into something like art, and then there's somebody else who has a bit of a fan fiction about Luna becoming like a professional boxer as an adult. which is quite popular from what I can tell. I've actually written a sort of story for it, like for a friend one time, and basically in that, yeah, she's about 24 there though. So and she's basically she's learning to be like a professional boxer, go for the championship. Maybe you could do something with that. I don't know if that could work in the show. Maybe they did a Lynn,
Yeah, that's like different and interesting.
yeah, like they did an episode of Lynn becoming a wrestler for an episode. So why not Luna becoming a boxer for an episode? Absolutely could work.
Yeah.
Um, Although I suppose there was that recent episode about Luna getting a tattoo, which works against that because that episode implied that she can't handle pain very well. Not a good thing if you want to be a boxer.
Oh, true. That is
Although
true.
Anthony Joshua is a real life former heavyweight champion boxer, and he can't take pain very well. So there you go. You can work around it to a point.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Just do something different with Luna. Just give her something else, like because Racing Hearts really did show that she doesn't really have any interests or hobbies outside of being a rock music star and a rock music player. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Surely she has other things to her. Like Lola is a pageant girl, but there are plenty of other things that she's into. Lana is not only a girl who's into dirt and trash, but she's also into fixing cars and animals and stuff like that. Luan is a prankster and a comedian, but she's also into theatre. Laurie is into golf. Lenny is a fashionista who also apparently has a bit of an inside interest in wrestling. Lucy is into some sports despite being a goth and also likes Princess Pony. Lynn Jr. is a sports nut, but she also likes playing board games. She's also into being a hall monitor and so on. It's like the other character, like Lisa, is into West Coast rap, even though she's a scientist. You know,
Yeah.
and Lily's already developing an interest in art. It's like all the other siblings have this range outside of their core niche, but for some reason they're not doing that with Luna, and it's like it sticks out like a sore thumb 9 seasons later because it's like they really should have done this by now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that brings me to your next idea, Alana. We'll do one or two more each, and then we'll probably just sort of summarize.
Hmm. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like it'd be interesting to like expand maybe on like the Loud parents like past. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because we've seen a little bit of it, but not like
yeah,
too
like
much.
how they met and everything. Um,
Yeah, and just
and
like have
they,
an episode like showing their life like in the past,
I suppose that could work.
like before the kids were born.
Yeah, that could be an interesting thing. And you see, like maybe you see like some of the other characters, like Mr. Grouse and Flip and all that when they were younger, and like the school principals and all that. Um, Maybe they're all there as like people around in the town with them or something like that. That could be interesting. Um,
Yeah, that could work.
yeah, I don't know what I don't know specifically what the story would be about. Would it just be about them like meeting and gradually like getting into a relationship together, that sort of thing?
I don't know. It can honestly just be anything. I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
I
would
feel like
it?
that'd be interesting
Did
too.
you have an idea of them like being like school age or teenagers or young adults?
Probably just in high school. Like I don't know.
High school, okay. So probably before. Although, didn't they meet as young adults like on
I
a
actually
street
don't even
crossing?
remember. Like
I
I
think they
think they
did,
were
didn't they?
adults, but yeah, they might have been. So yeah, it could be like young adults. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So they'd have to be young
Whenever,
adults
however
then.
old they
Yeah.
were, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just going to look this up now because I should remember this. Lynn Senior and Rita Loud first meet. Like, because I should remember this. Okay, apparently, according to Alice for Love, Lynn Senior and Rita Loud met sometime after Lynn Senior finished his college semester in England. Okay, so
Oh yeah, okay. So they were young adults.
yeah, so that yeah, they'd be young adults then. Um, yeah, apparently, I think they only met about 20 years ago, only a few years before Laurie was born. So they, and if they're in, I think the show implies they're in their like, early 40s, so they'd be in their early 20s.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, it would have to be young adults. So yeah, fair, but you can still make that work. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
Um,
and I suppose another one for me. I mean, maybe do more episodes. Like a common criticism of the Bond seasons is that there's too many episodes focusing on like side characters and the friend groups rather than the main siblings. And that sort of brings in a conflict of interest because on one hand, you do kind of do want to develop your side characters to some extent, but at the same time, you don't want to take too much focus away from the main family, if that makes sense as well. So one thing you could do to compromise all that is have more episodes that mix in like some of the sisters with some of the like friend characters. Like for example, the Lynn and Liam episodes do this quite well, um, where they have them two paired up together. And you could do more episodes like that. Like you could pair up, I don't know, Luna with Stella. I'm just making these up as we go along. Or you could pair up Lisa with Zach, or you could, or I don't know, Fiona and Laurie. You know, Lucy and Margot. I'm just making these up as I go along, but like you could do like pairings and like groups comprised of both the main sibling group and of various friend characters, and you could make stories out of that to like allow both groups of characters to get time to shine.
yeah, that would be so cool to see. Like I like that.
Yeah, like what I did is a story called "Leave Our Town Alone." Did I show you that one? Um,
I think so.
the
I'm not
one it was
sure.
one
What was it
about.
about?
You know how there's an episode in the show where Stella apparently got taught how to predict things by reading tea leaves in cups, a sort of a superstitious thing. And when she does it in this story, she sort of like gets an implication that Royal Woods is doomed. So she goes to Lucy, who of course is the main like superstitious sister who can like predict the future with things. And that there's an episode like well not well, a story that I've written designed to feel like an episode with Lincoln, Stella, and Lucy together. And that's just like one of many examples you could do.
Oh yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, and yeah, obviously, again, you have Lynn and Liam in a couple of episodes together, and yet there's so many things you could do there, like yeah, there's I don't know, there are ways you could work around having such a big cast and struggling to fit everyone in. You know, you could just create stories that allow both sets of characters to be in the episode together. Another example that I did was, I'm sure I showed you this one, House of Fun.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember that had that story was. I intentionally designed it to be comprised of some sisters and some friend characters. So you had Lincoln, Lynn, Lola, and Luan present, four siblings. But then you also had Ronnie Anne, Benny, Chandler, Rusty. You know, a few of the other friend and side characters mixed in as well to sort of, have both two sets of characters like merge together and interact. And that was kind of
Yeah.
like I thought, there you go. There's a perfect example of how you can make that work.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Yeah. So I think that you could generally do more stuff that mixes stories that have both the sisters and the friend group characters like interact together and star in episodes together. That you could work around that problem a bit more. Then you could have the development for these side characters without it coming at the expense of the louds, and I think that would help the show substantially.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And one last idea from you, Alana. It could be anything. It could be specific. I don't mind whatever it is. If you've got it on your mind, just say it.
Uh, ooh, I don't know. I kind of want them to do like maybe another like Thanksgiving episode. Like I
Okay.
liked the first one they did, but I just feel like they should do another one, just like a
Yeah.
redo.
Yeah. They've only done. Yeah, they've only done the one, haven't they? The only one I can remember is where they first interact with the Casagrande family. I don't
Yeah,
think. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
I
suppose they could
don't
do
think so.
another
They have
one, but
not in.
yeah. Have you got any specific ideas as to what the story specifically would focus on, or yeah, would there be like
Um,
a conflict or
Not
yeah?
exactly like specifically, but
Yeah, just a general Thanksgiving episode. Yeah, I guess
it
you
could
could
just
go with
honestly
that.
be anything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that you could make some like creative scenarios out of a Thanksgiving plot. Um, again, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't particularly like the first one that much. I just thought like, yeah, the conflict
Like it
between
was okay, but it could
yeah,
have been better.
like especially since looking back on it, this was the first time I think that both families really properly interacted, like fully. Um, and like I think we were almost like expecting so much from it, and it didn't really deliver. It was just like this basic formulaic plot, and most of the characters don't really interact with each other that much. Like, there's most of the interactions come from the parents, really. Like, Lynn Senior and Rita interacting with the likes of Rosa and Frida, which is like, okay. But like, there are so many things you could have done. I think Kirst actually did a bit of a better job slightly. Like, you actually
Yeah.
see more interactions between the individual members of both families there, than
Yeah,
the
Cursed was way better.
original Thanksgiving, loudest Thanksgiving. I didn't really think that one. It barely scratched the surface of what it could have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it was disappointing for me because I just wanted to see like all the characters like just interacting more instead of just
Yeah,
fighting and just kind of
yeah.
doing whatever.
And keep in mind at the time, this was back during season three. And Ronnie Anne was also a very different character back then, as you remember. For seasons 1 to 3 of The Loud House, she was a lot like tougher and surlier and a bit more grumpy. Um,
Right.
and she was like sort of like the tough girl before she mellowed out. Um, and I actually was really looking forward to maybe her and Lynn interacting for the first time because again, I think Lynn could do with a rival, but that never went anywhere. Um,
No, it didn't.
Although that sort of brings me to another idea I've just thought of, another one that I've done before, by the way. Um, Obviously, Ronnie Anne has mellowed out over time, and there are reasons for this. She moved to be with a bigger family. She got a bigger friend group. Back in Raw Woods, she was kind of a loner if you think about it. She lived only with Maria and Bobby, and they were out all the time. And she didn't really seem to hang out with anyone at school. She seemed to be on her own. So I don't know.
Yeah.
She might have just been a bit angry at the world because nobody really liked her back then. You could
Yeah, like
sort
I
of
feel
say.
so bad for her when I think about that because yeah, it is really sad
Yeah, I
the
mean, it
way
doesn't
she.
excuse what she did to the other kids, but still, yeah, I do sort of get
Yeah,
it. And obviously, when
but
she
it gives
moved,
like a
yeah,
reason for why she was the way she was.
yeah,
So
and it's sort of like when she moved to Great Lake City, obviously, she got a bigger friend group, she got a bigger family, she got surrounded by people who love and care about her, and obviously, she just naturally sort of mellowed out and became a nicer, cheerier person while still having a bit of a tough side there. But I think it's safe to say she's not the tough girl she was in the earlier seasons. And that's fine, except there is one sort of time you sort of think maybe she could have done with that. And that's obviously the sort of borderline bullying relationship she has with Becky from the Casagrandes. Sometimes she'd
oh
be
yeah,
friendly with her, but sometimes she would pick on her. And it's like, Ronnie Anne, you should be able to hold your own against her more than this. And maybe she just doesn't have it in her anymore to fight back. And I think there could be an episode like the one the story I wrote, Ronnie and Tumble, which involves Ronnie Anne, like, she gets bullied by Becky one too many times. She gets upset, and Lincoln calls her, and she explains the situation, and he actually says, I'm going to get somebody to teach you to be tougher again. And you know where I'm going with this.
yeah.
She goes to Lynn Jr. Lynn Jr. goes Cobra Kai Johnny Lawrence style sensei on her. I don't know if you've seen Cobra Kai. It's quite good, actually.
No, I haven't.
No, if you see, just look up a couple of clips of Cobra Kai of like Johnny Lawrence, and you'll understand what I mean. But she's like this, like really super strict, sort of tough sensei, as she teaches Ronnie Anne to like tap into her tough side again, so that she can have a confrontation with Becky at the school.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool
Like,
actually.
you almost feel like that should have happened at some point in the Casa Grandes, but it never did. Um,
Right.
yeah, I just feel like that could make for a great episode if done right. It would put a conclusion to the ongoing sort of storyline, if you could even call it that, between Ronnie Anne and Becky. It would allow Ronnie Anne and Lynn to have a proper interaction after all these years. Obviously, Lynn could probably be involved in some way as well. I think it could make for a potentially really fun story if they did it right.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I guess one more I'm going to bring up since we're talking about Casagrande's characters. And again, I recently did this story as well. Pugwara and her parents coming back and interacting with the modern world for the first time and posing as normal humans.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I like that idea.
that could make a great episode. I don't know if it would happen though. I've heard apparently because the first Loud House movie and the Casagrandes movie were owned by Netflix. I think for a number of years, characters exclusive to those movies are like they don't really have the right to use them in the show, which would explain why, for
Oh,
example, X from the second Loud House movie has appeared in an episode, but the likes of Angus and Morag and Lella the Dragon haven't.
oh yeah. I didn't even think about that because it's
Yeah.
Netflix.
So
So
sadly, I don't
yeah,
think we're ever seeing Pungwari again, even though I would absolutely love to see her come back. It's a shame,
same.
really.
Yeah,
But if they could do it, absolutely do an episode like that.
yeah. I would love to see that,
Like,
but it's like
imagine the three
I didn't
gods,
think
like,
about the Netflix thing.
yeah, imagine, like, the three gods in the city. I don't know, like, they could be doing mundane stuff like buying a hot dog, going to the salon, going to the movie theatre, going to a museum and finding out about the world's history since they've been gone. And you could get a lot of good material out of that.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's sad that I don't think they'll ever do it. But they are going to do an episode. It's okay, because they did an episode about Rusty and Morpheus doing spells together, which everybody loved.
Oh my god.
Yeah, God, I know, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Did an episode about them. Yeah, so, any other things you'd like to bring up, or do you think we're about there?
Uh, Not that I can think of right now.
No. I guess we could say to summarise, the show's lasted 9 seasons, and we've had many great episodes. But it kind of speaks volumes for how big and expansive and even interesting the Loud House universe is when we've been we've had 9 seasons and the show has still only just scratched the surface of what it could do. And I
Yeah,
do
I agree
think
with that.
yeah, and I do think like I almost feel like you could do continuations, spin-offs, reboots. I don't think it will happen, but it could, and if they did it right, I'd be interested because there is so much more you could do with this world, with this group of characters, with all these potential dynamics, with all the different ideas that are sort of bristling around. I mean, I've
Yeah,
got
like there's
literally,
just so
yeah,
many characters. Like the world is huge, like in the show.
yeah. It's almost like the world is too huge for this show. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, unless it's like as long as like SpongeBob or something.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't
But
think
like I
it
don't think
will.
it would actually like be
And
that long.
even if it did, they don't always focus on the right things anyway. I think they've had the time to do a lot more of interesting things, but I don't know. It's like we get too many episodes focusing on things that just aren't interesting. Um, Whereas there are so many things that could be done, which just haven't been done, and yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, to be fair, I mean, you read the comics, and a lot of people would argue that the comics sometimes do like ideas that are more interesting than some of the episodes the show comes out with, which I don't know. Will you agree with that?
Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that are in the comics that just aren't even in the show. Like, that I'm
Yeah.
surprised haven't even been in the show. Like,
Well, I think part of the reason for that is like not all, but some of the people who work on the comics are actually part of the fan base. Again,
oh
like
yeah, yeah,
Amanda and Ruhisu.
yeah.
Yeah, but then maybe that's just how that goes. But yeah, I think overall we could say great show. Still a lot more it could do, a lot more it could achieve, and hopefully one day, in some shape or form, it will do it. But hey, we'll see.
Yep.
What do I say? Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
Yep.
Que sera, sera. Whatever. No, I'm not singing the whole song. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having another call, Alana. It's been very interesting. I'll
Yep.
get this podcast up soon. As of the time of recording this, I've also got another podcast recording to do with Ruhisu, who's obviously a very big and very popular user in the Loud House community, so that should be interesting. We'll be doing a trilogy video on Loud House art. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I'll probably get that one up very soon as well. Um, yeah. So you guys, everyone watching, any ideas you've got? Any particular story concepts? Any episodes that you think the show should do? Should it focus more on specific characters? Should it focus more on specific ideas that you've got in your head? If you've got anything, share it. Put it in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. What should the show do next? Yeah, there's plenty that we could talk about there. But I think we've said enough for now. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.